everybody, and welcome back to another one of those videos where I talk about updates on Dwarf Fortress coming from Toady1 and KitFox. In this video, I'm going to be covering that trailer that was released during the PC gaming conference that I uploaded a me watching it live, I guess, reaction. God, I feel terrible saying that out loud. Video of the trailer, but this is going to be, I'm going to replay the trailer right after I'm done babbling, and then I will read through the post that KitFox and Bay12 sent out alongside of the trailer on the Steam forums. We'll be talking about that a little bit, and then I'm going to try and break down the trailer and cover some things that concern me about adventure mode because people tend to overhype themselves on things. So we'll dive in right after this trailer.
Hi, this is Tarn and Zach, the creators of Dwarf Fortress. Here we're in this cool fortress with the dwarf Vukar working on an artifact, and he's made Kasha Zunal a gold ring for his family. But now I'm going to retire this fort because I want to hold this ring in my own hand. I can make a character in adventure mode, anyone I want, even a whole party. Let's take this one. We can explore sites, fight monsters, join a faction, or go off to an old fortress to steal our ring. I've arrived with my hippo friend. We're pretending we belong here, sneaking down into the darkness. And there's the workshop. Let's grab the ring. There's a huge map to explore. Adventure mode is a great way to experience the world of Dwarf Fortress.
And just like that, let's dive into the Steam post. So, KitFox writes, for those who don't know, Adventure Mode is the RPG mode of Dwarf Fortress where you can create a character and freely roam the rich simulated world you have made a home in during your Fortress mode save or start fresh in a newly generated world. Characters in the world now have a face. A dwarf's appearance will reflect their description, from wounds to clothing style to hairstyle. This is possible thanks to the game's procedural portrait system, based on the beautiful pixel art from Carolyn we've been showing off in the art updates. This feature will also be coming to Fortress mode. We've already shown off the dwarves and elves, but here are a look at goblins and kobolds. Thanks to a new interface, Adventure Mode brings rich conversations with characters, and this will help you to bond with your unique party of adventurers, and will add weight to the stories they create in your world. This particular line here has me a little bit interested, because they say rich conversations. Now, previous versions of Adventure Mode, if you've played them, are pretty static when it comes to the conversations. It's like, hello person, and then they say generic response based on general setting, and then you say generic response based on general setting, and then they say, I don't understand you, or something to that equivalent. It is very rare that you'll get much more than that, so I'm really curious if they've expanded the conversations at all, or if it's just going to be more of what we had previously, which, while not bad, is pretty simple in comparison to other things out there in existence. This isn't going to be Baldur's Gate Endless Edition before people get too excited. Let's keep reading. Combat in the game will also see a visual and mechanical revamp with updating wrestling mechanics, and this will encourage those who may have in the past avoided grappling to maybe look forward to a tussle. It will also spice up your adventures out in the wild, and another exciting layer of engagement of the world. Fight as an individual or control a whole party in tactical mode. So we've had tactical mode before, it was just clunky as heck to control, where you could select different characters, tell them what their moves were going to be, and then press go, and then one whole turn would roll through, and then the entire screen would fill up with text telling you what happened, and then you go, well, if I can parse this, maybe it'll be interesting. And that's the way the tactical mode kind of worked in the past, as well as the combat in the past. The combat in the past was a very fiddly menu with a whole list of different limbs that you could grab with your different limbs, so allowing you to do things like bite the back teeth out of an enemy's mouth with your mouth. Don't ask me how that works. Regardless, I'm curious to see what this looks like, because this is one of the things we did not see in the trailer whatsoever. The next thing here is the world map, while in adventure mode, will also see a change, with important landmarks such as roads, towns, and homes being much more easily visible. These will also be replacing those big red squares while embarking in Fortress mode, which is strange that they didn't mark that down here. Tarn did mention that during the last time I spoke with him on streams, so I feel like that should also be noted as a feature that's coming to Fortress mode, but no bother there. Adventure mode holds limitless possibilities for players' stories. Write a poem and recite it in front of an unsuspecting tavern goers. Join a group of hearth warriors of a local village to solve problems. Rob a tomb and become cursed by a mummy, and so much more. All of these things are true. However, when you're going about them, the issue in previous versions of adventure mode is that, let's just say you join a group of people and you agree to go fight a thing. Well, you might get lost from them, and then refinding them is almost impossible. Same if, say, you're sent to go save a lost child. Finding the initial person who told you to go find said lost child is almost impossible unless you wrote their name down. So I'm curious to see if they've expanded the journal or the quest log, or maybe given us some access to Legends mode to be able to find quest givers again. I've seen a lot of comments on Reddit about people saying, I wonder if we're gonna get paid for quests now. I'm still wondering if we'll be able to properly turn them in, but that's a curious thing for future updates, I suppose. And the last portion of this update goes as follows. We also remain busy working on Fortress mode in parallel to development on Adventure mode, and look forward to sharing an exact date for Adventure mode when ready. In the meantime, we will continue to update you on our progress. As we get closer to launch, we will be releasing tutorials and other videos for more gameplay action. Interesting. I'm curious to see what those tutorials look like. It's like before people start making jokes, they haven't talked to me about that, so I'm curious to see what that will look like, genuinely. As usual, you can discuss the update and follow the news in the KitFox Discord. And we have an adventure mode channel and in-depth bug discussions, and it's the fastest way to find out about our Dwarf Fortress live streams. KitFox plus Bay 12. So all of that being said, I think my biggest concern about adventure mode is people overhyping themselves, but that was my biggest concern with Fortress mode. Adventure mode is its own weird beast, similar to how Fortress mode is its own weird beast. Fortress mode is an inherently easy game once you learn kind of your way around it. And I know before somebody smacks me, hear me out. Once you understand how the mechanics of Dwarf Fortress work, surviving becomes kind of trivial. And from that point forward, it's more of a matter of orchestrating calamity and trying to create the most interesting narrative for yourself and less about actual video game difficulty. When it comes to adventure mode is the most open sandbox with an incredible array and variety of characters, but a lot of what's in between that is very simple and generic. A lot of the interesting things that you, the player, can put into adventure mode is in the format of the stuff that you've built in your fortresses. Now, my first thing that I would like to point out here is in previous versions of adventure mode, when you are exploring your old fortresses, something that would happen is there'd be stuff scattered everywhere. The game doesn't know where to put the items that you have crafted, meaning unless it's on a pedestal or in a very specific location, all of the items from all of your stockpiles would be everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean like scattered out in the forest, on the road on the way in, upstairs in rooms they're not supposed to be, and everything else. And something that I immediately noticed about this trailer that I'd like to point out is when they're walking into this fortress, which is by Semtexagon, and actually I'll link a link to the community forts where this fortress was shown. This is a fortress called Aquaways, which was one of the earliest community forts I did. This fortress still has the stockpiles in the same place. So I really, really hope that this is a sign that the stockpiles and items are going to remain more static. Even if reclaiming the fortress still scatters items, it would be really interesting to be able to adventure back into my fortresses and see where I left things more or less intact. Something else I would like to point out about this trailer that we've seen is a lot of people, especially I'm seeing this on the Steam forums, and by the way, to those of you being unrealistically rude, I just want to say that this person has the right idea, but something that I've seen talked about specifically on the Steam forums is the lack of stuff that's been shown in this trailer. This trailer has been in the works for at least a month, maybe longer than that. The first time I heard murmurings of a trailer popping up was quite some time ago, and specifically there were some people at KitFox looking around for fortresses to use in a trailer, which means the footage that we're actually seeing here is likely a month old, maybe more. So This is probably the reason we haven't seen anything like the combat UI, probably why the actual visuals and stuff that we've seen in this trailer is so limited. It's also likely why the amount of UI in the trailer itself is minimal at best. And specifically the criticism that I've seen on the Steam forums is, well, there's no mouse in the trailer, so this is clearly just version 47 with a tile set. I don't agree with that take, and the reason for this is, having talked with the developers quite a bit in the last interview, they did say that all of that UI that we see is functional, it's just when those screenshots were taken, it was still a work in progress. So this footage that you're seeing is from some time ago and has been in the works for some time, especially because it was shown at the PC Gaming Conference, which means that this is a build that has been around for a little bit of time now, which makes me very curious about what the next update is going to be and what the next update cadence is going to be. And of course, by update, I mean, what is the next screenshot they're going to show? What is the next series of menus they're going to show? Adventure Mode has a lot of UI, and as I've said before, I'm planning on making some videos covering older versions of Adventure Mode, specifically version 47, talking a little bit about what you can do in those modes and that version's shortcomings and things that I hope that they're going to be improving for this mode. Now let's jump back in time a little bit to October 4th when the roadmap was posted. This is what they stated that they had to do at the time, and I'm going to kind of tick off things that they've completed. They needed to implement the travel map. They had the map, but they needed to make it match. They've done that. That's aesthetically shown here in this trailer. The main interface layout seems to be completed now. However, the sub-menus clearly are unfinished, or at least they were at the time of the recording of this trailer, because we had not yet seen any of the buttons be pushed with a mouse. We've only simply seen the character moving around. Procedural portraits seem to have made a lot of progress as well. We have yet to see inventory, combat, we've seen some conversations, and we've seen what I assume to be a portion of the character generator with that little scraggly character at the beginning. We haven't seen the status screen, the journal, the crafting, and other screens. We also haven't seen the various small menus and actions, and we haven't seen, obviously, the audio integration, but that's because this is a trailer. However, what we did see is that fantastic new soundtrack stinger, which I am very excited to hear more of.
Let's take this one. We can explore sites, fight monsters, join a faction, or go off to an old fortress to steal our ring.
Honestly, just more music, and I'm happy at this point. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the work that I do on this channel, you can check out my Patreon, or alternatively watch my streams on Twitch and YouTube. I stream on this YouTube channel as well as on my Twitch channel. I primarily keep track of the Twitch chat, however. And also, if you would like to see VODs of me playing video games like this on the internet, you can find that at the Blind Extras channel. There's a link to that down in the description. And of course, I will be playing more Caves of Cut in the future, and I'm planning on moving back to version 47 to cover some Adventure Mode. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.